Okay, so let's get started. So still doing our warm-up first. Okay, let's start marching on the spot to get our body temperature higher. Okay, I'm just going to also spotlight myself. Okay, let's also move the joints in the body, starting from the neck and the spine. So just kind of looking up and down. It'll be easier if you breathe out as you look down, breathe in as you look up. Okay, let's also move the rest of the spine. So breathe out, just slouch a little bit. Breathe in as you bring your chest up towards the ceiling, arching your back slightly. Okay, and just continue for a few times. Okay, let's look left and right. Okay, and let's rotate the rest of the spine. Okay, let's rotate the shoulders. Okay, maybe 3 to 5 times per direction. Okay, let's move the rest of the shoulders. And also elbows as well. You see if you can open up the palm, reach back, and just try to touch behind the shoulders maybe. Okay, let's do the same thing, but just side to side. So still try to open the palm, press the palm out, okay, and just give yourself a hug as you come back. Okay, let's go almost up and down. Okay, and then side bend with the press. Okay, breathing in as you reach up and across. Try to open the palm again. Okay, and let's go in the full circle for a few times. Okay, circling rotating our arm. Okay, so elbow squeezing the body, press your wrist out. Okay, so it's externally rotating our shoulders. Okay, let's do the opposite. Let's internally rotate, so reaching in. Okay, and back out. Okay, so the whole arm rotates a little bit. Okay, let's rotate the wrist. A few times each direction. Okay, let's rotate each finger. Try to pull your fingers towards the back of the hand. Okay, and then just wiggle all your fingers. Okay, let's rotate the hips. Okay, just try to press your hips out in different direction. Okay, let's work on a hip hinge. So hips back, back straight, knees can bend a little bit, but most of the motion comes from the hips. So you're just reaching down to something about knee height while keeping your spine nice and long. Okay, it's almost exact same motion, but this time we bend the knees a little bit more. So sitting on a tall stool. So hips, pretty much the same motion, but the knees just bend a little bit more. The knees do travel slightly forward, but still try to push the hips back. Okay, knees want to be on top of the foot. Okay, almost exact same motion, but feet a little bit wider apart. So still hips back, one knee instead of both. Okay, just stretching the groin area a little bit. Okay, still press the hips back. So always use our hips. Okay, let's go front to back. So 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. If you can, just try to keep your heel a little bit closer to the ground. You might feel a little bit of stretch behind, but you're just going to press the hips forward. Okay, and let's try to reach up at the same time. So if you need to, hold on to something like a wall. Okay, but if you feel comfortable, you can reach both arms up. So breathe in. As you press the hips forward. Okay, 35 times one way, and then switch over whenever you're ready. Okay, let's loosen the hips further. Okay, so once again, hold on to something maybe as you just swing your leg back and forth a few times. Okay, repeat on the other side. Okay, side to side a few times. Okay, so once again, it'll be easy if you're holding on to something. Okay, and lastly, just go in a circle. Just try to draw a circle, a full half circle behind you as well, not just in the front. Let's loosen up the knees. Okay, and let's circle our ankles as well. Okay, and maybe just bend the toes a little bit. Maybe wiggle them a few times. Okay, so that was a warm up. Okay, let's go into resistance exercise part. So we're going to be doing a push and a pull today as well. Okay, but we're pushing upwards. Okay, and we're pulling downwards. Okay, so let's start with the pushing up. So this one, if your band is long enough, you can just step on one end with one or both feet. If it's a little bit shorter, you can do the same thing, but you can do it seated down. just so that you can have enough room to reach overhead. Okay, but either way, kind of holding one end. Okay, so always chest up first, starting off with the elbows maybe roughly beside the body. It doesn't have to be straight in front, usually about 45 degrees out should be the most comfortable. Okay, but standing nice and tall. Okay, and you're just going to press up. At the beginning, just go to about maybe elbow to shoulder height. That's a little bit safer. Okay, and come back. Okay, and then if you feel comfortable, you can press a little bit high up. Okay, but we're going to do the 4 counts again. So it'll be 1, 2, okay, and 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. So go by how much range you have in your shoulders. If you can go up higher. 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, 9, 2, 3, 4, 10, 2, 3, 4. So we're aiming once again for about 10 times. You can do more, do less, okay, but aim to just leave a few repetitions in the tank when you stop. Okay, so stop when you feel like you can at most do 2 to 3 more repetitions. Okay, so I think I did about 14, and this is when I feel like I can at most do 2 to 3 more. That's when I'll choose to stop. Okay, check it out. Rest as long as you need to. Okay, and we can repeat the same thing on the other side. Okay, so always watch your alignment. If you want to, you can also lightly tense up the rest of your body. So when let's say if this is really heavy, we do want to stabilize the rest of the body and then apply force through arms. Okay, if the rest of your body is kind of loose, you won't be able to lift as much. It's also maybe can be a little bit safer as well because your body is more stable. Okay, so you don't have to clench everything, but you can lightly maybe stiffen your leg a little bit, squeeze your butt slightly, get your back muscles tight by bringing your chest up a little higher. Okay, and then you can move the arms. Okay, so everything, you can even lightly squeeze the other hand as well. That will help us to maintain stiffness in the rest of the body, and make sure you're still breathing as you do this. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. So once again, if there's no pain, you can slowly go up to higher. 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4. Thumbs will be facing slightly backwards as well. 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, 9, 2, 3, 4, 10, 2, 3, 4. Once again, stop at any points you like. Okay, we want to adjust in the tightness of the band. Okay, not so much the number of repetitions. Okay, but just around 10 times. And maybe plus or minus like 5 repetitions. So anywhere from 5 to 15 reps. Okay, let's shake it out a little bit. I'll make sure that I am recording. Okay, that's good. Okay, so let's mix upper and lower body just to give our upper body a little bit of rest. Okay, so we're going to do a lower body pull. Let's just keep it simple, a little bit simpler today. Okay, so we're just going to do a basic, let's just do a basic deadlifting. Okay, and I'll show you a variation that is a little bit harder that you can try if you want to. Okay, but let's review the basic deadlift first. Okay, so kind of both feet standing on the middle of the band. Okay, and you're imagining picking up 2 bags of heavy groceries maybe on the side. Okay, and we want to, this time, there are different ways to do this, but this time we're going to do it like when we did in the warm-up. So knees slightly bent. Okay, back nice and long. Okay, so we don't want to lift heavy with our backs bent. Lengthen the body. Okay, so imagine trying to lift your chest up towards that way. Okay, so everything tight first. Okay, shoulders, see if you can pull it down and back as well. So protect the shoulders. Okay, and you're just going to always drive your hips forward and you should naturally stand back up. Okay, so to put things down, you're just going to keep everything tight except for your hips. You can push your butt back, let the knees bend a little bit. Okay, you can make this a little bit tighter, of course. Okay, and as you breathe out, 2. Okay, so let's do a kind of a 4 count again. So 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4. If your legs are a little bit more straight, it's a little bit harder for the back of the thighs. You can choose to do that as well. 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4. It's a little better if you breathe in as you reach back as well. So breathing in, okay, breathing out, breathing out. Okay, so the more air we have in our trunk, the more stiff it is, which helps to protect our back. Okay, so I think we're at about 9 repetitions. So 10, 2, 3, 4, 11, 2, 3, 4, 12, 2, 3, 4. Okay, once again, stop at any point you like. But if you can do kind of 15 repetitions relatively easily, it might be time to get a stiffer band or make the band a little bit tighter. Okay, so for this movement, primarily maybe you feel in the back of the thigh, the butt a little bit of stiffness in the back. Okay, for the shoulders, your spine kind of follows the shoulders. So when your shoulders is rounded forward like this, your spine naturally would want to do this as well. So kind of to protect our shoulders, protect your back. If you just pull your shoulders back a little bit and down into this will help you to make everything tight as well. So instead of shoulders kind of dropping down like this, see if you can pull your shoulders back a little bit, okay, and away from the ears. Okay, and naturally that will protect the shoulders and the back a little bit. Okay, so let's repeat these two again. So pressing upwards, okay, and then the hinging forward. Okay, so just whenever we're ready, once again, always think of kind of review how hard it was for you the previous time and make adjustment as necessary. Okay, so once again, maybe lightly tighten everything else. Okay, elbow start off maybe 45 degrees out to the side. Okay, chest tall. Okay, and this one, you can either breathe in or breathe out as you reach up. I prefer to breathe out as I press up for this one. Okay, so 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, 9, 2, 3, 4, 10, 2, 3, 4. So second time is a little bit harder for me. So I think 12 is probably going to be my last rep. You can see you can do more or do less. Just kind of go by how you feel. Okay, and it's good to actually have a record as well, so you can slowly increase as well over time. Okay, so shake things off in the middle. When you're ready, you can repeat on the other side. Okay, so once again, good posture first. Okay, shoulders still slightly further back. Everything else slightly tight. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. So as you lift up, make sure your elbow is still kind of relatively pointing down. 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3, 4. 5, 2, 3, 4. 6, 2, 3, 4. 7, 2, 3, 4. 8, 2, 3, 4. 9, 2, 3, 4. 10, 2, 3, 4. 11, 2, 3, 4. 12, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so once again, go by own number. Okay, so for the hinge, you can repeat what we did before. If you want to make this harder, you can do it kind of one leg at a time. Okay, so instead of standing with your feet kind of in line with each other, you can actually just let go of one foot. Okay, and you're just having your leg dangling behind just for balance. Okay, almost exact same motion, so still pushing your butt back. You can even do it if you want to make it even more of a challenge for balance. You can kind of make the leg dangle. Okay, but it's quite a bit harder, so you should prefer to just have the foot back for balance. So pretty much you're lifting with one foot. Okay, so but you can also still go back to the first version where you are just symmetrical, which would be easier for balance, easier on the hips as well. Okay, so you can give the one-legged version a try. You don't necessarily have to, okay, but you can. Okay, so I'm going to do the one-legged. So still 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, 9, 2, 3, 4, 10, 2, 3, 4. Okay, if you're doing it on one leg only, you might have to do another, I guess, half a set, okay, just to get out a foot. If you're doing both legs, if you want to, you can do another set as well. Okay, or you can also just take a rest. Okay, but once again, tall posture, shoulders down and back. Okay, and if you want, you can do it completely on one foot. Okay, it becomes a little bit of a balance exercise as well. Okay, but it should look pretty much the same as if your leg is just on the floor. I forgot to keep the tempo, but it's still about 2 seconds, 2 counts down, and 2 counts up. Okay, quite a bit more difficult because you're only balance. This muscle has also worked to balance yourself out as well, so it might be a little bit harder if your leg is off the floor as well. Okay, so shift things off. Okay, so for the second part, we're going to pretty much almost do the opposite. So before we're pressing upwards, okay, now we're trying to pull something down. Okay, so we're trying to use the muscle kind of right behind the armpit, and it goes back towards the back. So if you want, you can try to just try to pull your elbows into your hips, okay, and you should feel something kind of almost popping up out a little bit as you pull your elbows into your hips. Okay, so that's the muscle we're trying to work on. It also works the front of the bicep a little bit, okay, but primarily this. Okay, so try to don't try to push it down so much. Try to pull your elbows into your body. Okay, so the other hand has to work a little bit hard as well. So if you have something that you can tie up on top, that'll make it easier because you can just kind of pull down. Okay, but since most of us won't have something to tie up on, we are going to anchor it with our other arm instead. Okay, so maybe start off maybe roughly shoulder width apart. Okay, and you're going to reach both arms upwards. Okay, another way you can do that is that instead of just letting your arm hang, so what we're going to do is going to pull it down like this. Okay, so the straight arm has to kind of keep everything there. So if it's too difficult for you, face the wall and then just anchor your hand on top of a wall. Okay, that will make it a little bit easier. Okay, so starting off here. Okay, once again, you can start off maybe just pull it down slightly. Okay, so the other arm might even be harder for you to hold. Okay, but focus on the arm that's going down. Okay, try to squeeze your elbows into your hips. Okay, and then back. Okay, so let's call this the third time. 3, 2. Okay, hold, squeeze. 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4. So once again, if it's way too tiring for the top arm, you can press it on the wall. I think it's 8, 2, 3, 4. So it helps you to only also focus on the down arm as well. So that's not a bad idea. 9, 2, 3, 4, 10, 2, 3, 4, 11, 2, 3, 4, 12, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so about 10 times. Okay, so with a wall, it's going to be much easier. Otherwise, it becomes more of an exercise for the top arm instead of the bottom one. Okay, so a couple of deep breaths in and out. Okay, so we want to be tense when we're lifting. We want to relax when we're not. Okay, and we can encourage that through our breathing, through what we do in the rest of the body. Okay, so when we're ready, we can do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so you can still also lightly squeeze out everything. So pull your shoulders down. Okay, make sure everything is stiff. Drive your elbows into the hip. Okay, and back up. 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4. So my top arm is getting a little tired, so I still want to focus more on the bottom, so I'm just going to use the wall to help. 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, 9, 2, 3, 4, 10, 2, 3, 4, 11, 2, 3, 4, 12, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so pretty tiring for both shoulders probably. Okay, so the next one, let's not use the band so much. Okay, so we're going to work on a deeper squat. So if your knees hurt, just go as low as you feel comfortable. Don't force yourself to go down too low. Okay, so we're going to change the timing a little bit. Okay, so we're going to work on being able to use our strength at the lowest position that we feel comfortable with. Okay, so let's just practice a basic squat first. So kind of like we did in the warm-up, feet may be about kind of maybe armpit width apart, toes pointing out slightly. Okay, you're still pressing your hips back, okay, but bending the knees a little bit. The knees are going to be roughly over the middle of the foot. Okay, so if you draw a straight line there, it should not be inside the foot. It doesn't have to be so wide out, okay, just over the foot. Okay, and you're just going to squat down. Remember to keep your feet flat on the ground, push your hips back. Okay, some people prefer to have the arms in front just so that you don't feel like you're falling backwards so much. Okay, so, and then back up. Okay, the difference for today is that we're going to spend a little bit more time in the bottom position. Okay, so we're just working on being able to use that strength at the bottom. Okay, so we're going to still do a 4 counts, but let's try 1 count stand. Let's try 1 or 2 counts at the bottom and then 1 count up. Okay, so if it's way too long, if you can't hold for that long at the bottom, just do maybe a second. Okay, but if you can, let's hold it for a little bit longer for today. Okay, so I look like something like this. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so a little more time at the bottom. Okay, so 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4. Okay, once again, it doesn't have to be as low as what I'm doing. It could be just even here, but just hold it a little longer at the bottom position. 5, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so try to keep your weight closer to here as well. So if your hips if you're not using hips, your weight is going to drift forward onto your toes. That's going to put more load on your knees and the thighs. See if you can push your hips back a little bit more. Okay, so your weight is still closer to heels. Okay, so I think we're at, let's say call it 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, 9, 2, 3, 4, 10, 2, 3, 4. So once again, roughly 10 times. So front of the thighs be getting a little tired. 11, 2, 3, 4, 12, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so why do we want to go this low? Sometimes, so the basic premise is that we still want to get up, work on getting up and down from the chair easily. So sometimes it might be, let's say a low couch, you might be sitting that low, and you want to have the strength to kind of get yourself back up. Okay, sometimes our hips might even be in that deep. Okay, so the most extreme example is if you are on the ground and you're trying to get yourself back up. Okay, you might be trying to push yourself up from this position. Okay, so this is just a single leg version of squatting from here. So this is the two leg version. I want to be pressing myself back up. This is single leg version. Almost the same position for this leg. Okay, I'm still pressing up. Okay, it's just that my leg is inside of here. My other leg is here. Okay, so sometimes it can be useful to be able to squat and get back up from that deep of a position. Okay, let's catch your breath. Sometimes maybe a little bit out your breath from squatting because we are using the bigger muscles. Okay, and let's rotate back up to our upper body. Okay, we're still doing the pull. Okay, so once again, use a wall to help you if you need to. Okay, you can switch in between. Okay, adjust the tension as you see fit. Okay, but focus on the bottom arm where you're trying to pull your elbow into your hips. Okay, so still the core 4 count this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm going to use the wall. Tighten out the band a little bit to make it harder for the bottom arm, but my top arm is getting a little tight. It's a little challenging with this kind of weight, so I'm going to use the wall to help. Okay, so I think I'm about 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, 9, 2, 3, 4, 10, 2, 3, 4, 11, 2, 3, 4, 12, 2, 3, 4. And relax. Okay, so for the first one, I was kind of doing a single band. I was feeling a lot more tight on my top arm compared to my bottom. So for the second, I decided to double the band up. Okay, but that makes it a lot even harder for my top arm. So I use a wall. So I felt then I can focus on my bottom arm. So now that time I felt I was using this a little bit more. So even for lifting, there's a little bit of body awareness going on. Kind of, you should understand like which body part you're trying to strengthen. Okay, and kind of asking yourself, am I feeling the effort in that area? And then making the changes if it's not quite what we want. Okay, so kind of ask yourself maybe those similar questions, play around with it a little bit, see what feels more correct to you. Okay, so that's kind of the process of lifting as well. Okay, so let's repeat on the other side when we're ready. Okay, so I'm still going to be using the wall for this one. I was also almost leaning forward slightly because it's a little hard to reach up. So I was leaning forward so that to make it easy for me to reach. So you can, instead of pulling straight down, you can also pull slightly back and into the hips. Okay, so let's repeat once again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, 9, 2, 3, 4, 10, 2, 3. So that one didn't feel quite good for myself, so I'm gonna have to play around a little bit more. Ideally, you can hook onto something up top. Could be a door frame at the corner of the door frame. If you can hook it up there, and you can almost try to pull with both arms. That makes it a lot easier than trying to holding it up with the other arm. So ideally, you have something up top that just hooks on, and you're just pulling it down that way. Okay, so let's go back to the squatting. So once again, we're trying to hold at the bottom position for a little bit longer. How low that position is completely up to you. Still be mindful where your weight is. So if it's shifting way too much on your toes, if you feel more pressure on your toes, try to push it back a little bit more so that your weight is a little bit closer to your heel. Okay, so it needs to still be tracking over the feet. Okay, so have your arms in front. So squatting down. Okay, about 1 second down. 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3, 4. 5, 2, 3, 4. 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, 9, 2, 3, 4, 10, 2, 3, 4. So about 10 times. Once again, adjust the reps. Okay, so roughly that number for myself. Okay, as you get stronger, let's say you can do 15 times kind of easily, you can add a little bit of weight in front. So the easiest way is still to hold any sort of weight. So it could be, let's say, any backpack or like a few balls, like dumbbells, something like that. You can kind of hold it on top or in front of you. So this will also train your back muscles a little bit more as well, because the weight is going to pull you forward and down, and your back has to fight to keep yourself upright. Okay, so if you want to add a weight, you can hold something in front of you and you saw weight, okay, and kind of repeat the same motion. Okay, or you can, if you want, instead of a 2 count at the bottom, you can hold even a little bit longer, let's say even 3 seconds at the bottom before you come back up. That also will make it a little more challenging as well. Okay, so let's shake things off. Okay, let's stretch our muscles a little bit, and then we'll call it a day. Okay, so let's start off with the hands first. Okay, so we did grip things. Okay, so let's do the prayer stretch. Okay, so hands together. Okay, and just going to bring arms a little bit lower. Okay, try to see if you can lengthen your fingers as well. So probably your hands just want to be doing this. See if you can get them closer together. So you can straighten out the fingers a little bit more. Almost try to be, imagine trying to pull your fingertips apart. Okay, so the back of the hand might be a little bit engaged. Keep a finger lengthen the fingers. Okay, let's hold it for at least 15 seconds. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, shake things off. Okay, so for the shoulders, let's just do a basic one first. Okay, so we don't need to chair for now. It's just a basic shoulder stretch. Okay, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, repeat on the other side whenever you're ready. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, let's stretch your hips a little bit. So let's hold onto a chair. Okay, so my left arm is holding a chair. Okay, I'm just going to push my hips towards my right side. Okay, so you can cross the leg if that's more comfortable for you, but maybe slightly backwards. So if you just feel a little bit of stretch, just on the side of the hips, maybe slightly backwards, even slightly behind your thighs. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And have the chair maybe slightly diagonal in front of you. Okay, and we're just going to go the other way. Okay, so arm is on one side. You're going to drive your hips towards away from the chair. Use the chair for balance, for support. This leg can be wherever. Could be even behind like this. Okay, I personally I like this version. Okay, as long as you feel a stretch on the side and back the hips a little bit. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, pause for a second. Make sure you feel okay. Okay, so next one, I'm going to stretch the lats a little bit. Chair is going to be roughly in the same position, so roughly diagonally in front of you, maybe slightly further away this time. Okay, so my left arm is going to reach across, okay, to get the chair. Okay, I'm just going to press, kind of very similar to what we just did, but instead of the hips so much, we're going to try to drop our shoulders down a little bit as well. So shift the entire body away from that chair and should feel a stretch almost at the behind the armpits, a little bit in the side of the low back here as well. So very similar idea, but instead of just the hips, we're trying to drop the entire body. Even trying to get the shoulders to go that way a little bit. Okay, just feel the stretch closer to the back area, side of the back, inside the hips. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, coming back, you might have to pause a little bit longer. Some people, if they move their head up and down, might feel a little bit dizzy. Okay, so pause as long as you need to. Okay, so if you maybe keep your feet moving a little bit. Okay, but when you're ready, shift the chair over to the other side. Okay, we're going to stretch your right side around here. Okay, so chairs on my left. Okay, I'm going to reach across the midline to my right. Okay, and I'm just going to shift my body towards the right. If you can have something to grab onto high up top, that will make it easier too. So instead of something this low, you can grab on something high and almost do the exact same thing. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, very last one, just for the thighs. This one, make sure your balance is okay. If you don't feel comfortable, just skip this one. Okay, but that's the one where you, this is the one where you grab your ankles, lift the front of your belt up a little bit, okay, and try to reach towards the floor of your knee while keeping your belt up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, and just repeat on the other side whenever you're ready. Okay, once again, we're not trying to arch your back so much. Okay, so make sure you bring your belt up. Okay, and then pull the knee down. Deep breath in and out. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, and that's it for today. Okay, so shake it out, take a couple of deep breaths. If you have areas where you're still a little tense in, stretch those areas out a little bit. Okay, try to relax your body through deep breathing. Okay, but thank you for coming, everyone. See everyone maybe next time. No problem. Take care.